from here, you look great.
Yeah, it's like my grass. It's the 50-foot rule.
So I'm saying.
That's what Jim said. Grass, it just needs to look good from 50 feet.
Exactly right. Yeah. Like when I spray painted the truck. Oh man. Yeah, when I was driving 60 miles an hour on the freeway and you saw it from the hilltop, it looks awesome.
Just slow that shutter speed down just a little bit.
Yeah, just blur. If you get the blur. All right. The nuance of love.
You don't know anything about that?
I don't know anything about nuance or love. The nuance of love. All right.
Love. Love.
Now then, love. Let me open us from the word. I'll read it. Okay, John 13:35. A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you also are to love one another. So
this is God's word.
This is God's word. Tell us about the nuance of love and where that came from for you this week and what that means to you and kind of elaborate a little bit on what was written.
So obviously, as you know, coming home from a board meeting I had for Sherman, just calling Jen to check in, and then she started telling me about, Zeke had a stomach ache and seemed normal, no big deal. But then it was a little bit different, and it's interesting. Like I can sense in when she's talking to me about the kids, it's almost like the more calm she is, the more my ears peak up a little bit, because it's like she's seeing something very clearly. It's not like reacting, or like panicking. It's just more like
it's calm in the storm, and she's like, "Oh, if there's calm, is there a storm?"
Hold on, I like when somebody whispers and you kind of like lean in a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, we thought it was potentially appendicitis, and I've had appendicitis. Her dad has, her cousins have. We also knew a family whose son died from appendicitis, young son died. And so, even thinking about that, like that us knowing that was a part of maybe the kind of sensitivity to this, to then think differently.
It's like all of life's experiences coming to bear on any one given moment, and it's all of the context that you can't even fathom the context behind what helps you make decisions in real time.
Yeah, like truly working all things together. The death of a child is the worst thing that can happen, it seems. And yet, if someone else's child is saved because of the knowledge of that,
not that it validates the death, but it certainly allows for a level of God being able to use that.
Yeah. Like this is not something that we want to happen or will happen or, that we want to see happen, but it's happened.
Right.
So then what can come from it?
Right. So let's not have the same thing happen twice.
Yeah. Let's not, not going to undo the past. So the where the thought of nuance of love came in was just that, Jen has this, she's always had a really good, discernment is the best word I would use. And she saw that in him. And so because of that, right when I got home, essentially, I just walked in, talked to him for a few minutes, and then was like, you know what? We're going.
The prep work was done. Yep. You getting there was a validation of what was already prepped in Jen's.
It was just like, hey, I'm getting home.
Yeah.
I think actually right before I pulled up in the driveway, I was still on the phone with her, and it was like, well, I think let's just take him. So then when I came in, then it was just kind of talking to him at the bed. And he's like, well, I've had stomach aches before.
Yeah.
You know what? We're going.
But you were saying like he'd lost all of his appetite.
It was really,
it was a different version.
When I say fast, it was fast. It was like instant. I was on the phone and he's talking to her about the loss of appetite. He had just not wanted to eat. He was eating spaghetti essentially and then just stopped. And then all of a sudden he didn't feel good. He had to go to the bathroom. He wanted to take a bath. He wanted to be in his bed.
Yeah.
He wanted to, and then he felt nauseous and he threw up. It's like, okay, well.
Yeah, and spending that much time for 11 years with your kid, you're like, nah, I know this kid.
Yeah.
Not this. There's something that's not a stomach ache.
Right.
Something else is going on.
But then you're like, is it?
But then is it? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. But the beauty is, it's not as though all of a sudden you're taking him, straight into a surgery. You're taking him to have a professional look at them. Right.
We live in a rural area, right?
You've got a
30-minute drive. Yeah. It's then you get there and then they're like, oh, he doesn't seem like it.
Right.
Because he's fine.
Right.
He's in pain, but he's not like when people have appendicitis. They're usually.
He's also got a high pain threshold.
He does. They asked him. He's not been to a hospital.
Right.
For really anything, and so when they give him the whole like, what's your pain level 1 to 10?
Yeah.
You're like 10. And I'm like, so then she's like, let me bring the chart in.
Yeah.
Show it to me, and he still pointed to like an 8 or 9.
Oh, so he was hurting.
And she goes, not everybody's a crier or a complainer.
He's just bearing it.
Yeah, which was wild. So then they want to do tests, and they do it, and they offer different kinds of options. Okay, well, we can kind of just wait and see if this progresses. We can do an ultrasound, but an ultrasound's only as good as the tech. It's 50-50, but it's a good option. We can kind of take that as the next step, or we can do a CT scan, which requires, a lot more. And, wisdom in a multitude of counselors. So I'll talk to Jen, and talk to her mom, who's an ICU nurse and a nurse educator. And even before I couldn't get a hold of her, even before that, we're just like, you know what, CT scan.
Yeah, man. I mean, at that point too, there's no questioning.
Yeah.
If you wait, there's a lot of questions. If you do an ultrasound, you're like, well, it says it's not, but there's the other 50% of it that it could be, and it just got missed.
Right.
Like, if I can get a scan that tells me yes or no, then give me that option.
Just do it. Yeah, just do it. So we did that, and and then it was like fast moving from there. And then, praise God, everything went as smoothly as it could possibly have gone.
Yeah.
Discharged the same night. And then, home by midnight or 1, something like that. Had gone in at 4:30 or something like that. I don't even remember the exact time frame. But, we have a quarterly meeting where we fly everybody in from the company. And I was supposed to, I prepared to lead this whole day the next day. And so, essentially kind of what I talked about this week is like, it was really easy for the surgery part. Because you're like, of course, like I don't even have to think about that. No one would think about that. I'm going to be here for my son at surgery. But then he's back. He's discharged. He's at home. He's recovering, but, he's at home. And I'm at home.
Mm-hmm. He's in his own bed.
Yeah. He's in his own bed. And so then I'm going, well, should I be at this meeting? Should I just drive down there? Should I go there before lunch? Should I go there after lunch? Should I?
Yeah.
And Jen's like, yeah, I mean, what, I don't know. I thought the same thing. What do you think? Mm-hmm. But whatever you think, I obviously should be supportive. And then she's like, you should talk to Zeke. So I'll talk to Zeke. So I talked to him, and he was like, yeah, that's fine. Like, he was totally chill about it. Yeah. But it's just, like, that's that whole still small voice, that conviction even that you have where you're like, something's off. Like, it's almost like I know when I'm asking him that he doesn't want me gone, but I also know that he doesn't want to tell me that.
Right.
So then I was like, you know what, let's just see. Because I could be off too. Maybe he really doesn't care. Like, maybe he is actually just apathetic, and he's like, cool, I'm going to play video games. Daddy's going to go to work, and it'll be a normal day.
And see you in a few hours,
Yeah. So we just sat outside and had that conversation, and he's just like, do you want me here? I do, and I don't. Like, okay, wait. And then I just stopped him. I just said, oh, okay, done. Well, then I'm here. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And he was like, big smile.
Big smile. Because he obviously didn't want to say, don't go to work, because he feels like, well, now if you don't go to work, that's because of me. Mm-hmm. But if you're choosing to stay for me, then I'm a big fan of that. I'm just not going to tell you to do that.
And he also knows, like, this is the other weird part. It's like, yeah, I stayed, and I hung out with him, and I just laid in the bed with him, and I watched him play video games, and I, got him a bowl of cereal, and
yeah.
But then outside of that, I was just there.
What was that? But it's that knowing that there's that access. Like if I yelled right now, Dad, you'd be in 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 10 seconds. And he did.
More water.
Yeah, exactly right. And it's just even that, knowing that.
Yeah.
Versus if you yell Dad and you're an hour away at a meeting, it's like, well, yeah, I'll see you in a couple of hours. But there's no like that immediate payoff of Dad's right there.
Yeah. So it just kind of made me think about like how everything in our relationships is almost made in the nuance. You know, it's like, and how much presence plays into that. Because if you're not present, then how can you see nuance? How can you pick up on nuance? And how can you, not everyone can articulate and explain themselves. So like even just being there for Jen, she doesn't need me there in any way, but she does.
Yeah.
She wants me there.
Yeah. And it's, you know, it's like anytime you're together with family or you're together in a room with co-workers for a business meeting, everyone always says the same thing. Yeah, we can see each other on Zoom, or on FaceTime, or we can text, or we can call. Everyone's got immediate access to each other now. We just do. But it's never going to be the same.
Yeah.
Right? It's the whole being in a room with someone, sitting across from someone, seeing someone's eyes in real time, physically 6 feet from one another.
Yes.
Is just eons different than
it is.
FaceTime.
It is.
I mean, I can still see the same person on FaceTime, but that isn't the same thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think it ever will be.
No, and I think
There's just these weird, subtle, nuanced differences of like, I can just sense and see and feel and I can almost just touch it.
Yeah.
It's palpable.
You see that I'm wearing slippers.
It's just
or
everything
that,
in it. It's just all of it. Versus on a FaceTime, as much as you still can be the same person, act the same way, like if people watch this, they can get some sense.
Yeah.
But if they were sitting in a chair next to us, it would be a very different experience.
Yeah.
Right?
It is.
It's
well,
just,
and
it's just a nuance.
God's created, and he is an eternal God who's created a place for us to be that is made up of everything he's created. And so we're all, you know, you don't need to be some wild, ethereal, general spiritualist to talk about energy, right? Like God created all of energy.
Right, exactly right.
You know, we're wireless.
Yeah, and if the science that shows that dogs can literally pick up energy in a room, they're in the same universe as us.
That's right. So, and that I think that is part of the hope with this, is that the reason that we're not doing this in like a podcast format where you're sitting with microphones across from a table is, for me, I want to share or give like the most, I don't know, like voyeuristic
as raw
experience.
As it could be, without inviting people into the room.
And people put on headphones or whatever, right? You've seen like videos like that because they don't talk over each other, but that's actually not how people work.
No.
You're picking up on the tail of what I'm talking about, and that's nuance.
Yeah.
But that's all a part of the way that humans interact. And so, all of it just made me go like, well, the nuanced view that Jen had with Zeke led to us getting something taken care of so early that like the doctors were questioning that's what it was before it happened. And then, you know, basically preventing all of this potential pain that he would go through over the next, let's say 12 hours, even 24 hours. And then of course the nuance of just understanding that somebody wants you there. So the encouragement obviously is, how can you pick up on nuance if you're not listening? Really listening. And not just listening with your ears, but with every sense that God's given you. And that is really what love is.
Yeah, I mean, so the way you wrote it was, maybe that's the encouragement today. If someone in your life isn't saying the full thing out loud, but maybe there's a whisper behind the words, there's a pause in the tone, there's a look in their eyes. Maybe they're saying the words, I just like it when you're here, and they're just not saying it. So even if 1% of you senses it, stay.
Yeah. I think that's love. So that's why I chose the verse 2, right? Like, it's a new commandment to love one another, just as I have loved you. And so how does he love us? It's eternally, it's infinitely, it's all the way into every nuance of what we know about ourselves and what we don't know about ourselves. And that picture is from, I took that with my Canon AE1, and it was in Hawaii with Jen. A little sunset shot.
It's a beautiful shot.
You really hope, like, I've taken enough pictures with film that haven't developed or that I've ruined it. That was a good one.
That's an excellent one. Yeah, that's award-winning, but with no awards.
Eternal award.
All right, moving on to the section around the work, your way, stewardship over scale. So you titled this section the stewardship over scale. If you're the person trying to make yourself indispensable, you're leading selfishly. So can you kind of give us an overview of that? And I know you're going to spend some time talking about the unbreakable operating system that you've developed over the last 20 years coming to fruition, but kind of what you mean by stewardship over scale and why you think it's selfish to be the one that's making yourself indispensable and leading that way. So give us some insight.
You know, I think a lot of people early in their career or in their, like, I don't know. I mean, we do it in life too, I guess. But especially in particular for this section in business, we try to make ourselves indispensable. So we want things to rely on us. And we want ourselves to be, it's like people want to go on vacation and they want things to not go as well without them.
Because then it proves you need me.
You need me, so that validates me and, whatever.
And then they're obviously really mad that they're getting emails and Slack messages while they're on vacation.
Yeah.
But that's the way they've set things up.
It's the way you actually want it.
Yeah.
Even though you're not, because that's what your execution shows. So, yeah, I mean, sometimes I feel like as in life and in business, you kind of need to get kicked in the teeth to kind of at least open your ears a little bit to what might be happening. So that's kind of if you're the person trying to make yourself indispensable, you're leading selfishly and you need to stop. You're putting everyone at risk. And the what are you thinking? You got a camera down?
I don't know. I don't see the red light flashing on that one.
We're at row. You want me to check? Let me check. I see it flashing.
Oh, it's just flashing from the back.
It's flashing from the back.
Oh, okay. Just a nice little hiatus there.
Yeah, so I mean, what I was trying to communicate in the first few lines here is that it's more than just you like making yourself indispensable or being a good resource for a business. You doing that is choosing to put children, families, wives, husbands, lives at risk. Because if something goes wrong, your business could collapse. You could suffer in a major way, which is not about the business suffering, because all of business supports human life, God's people. So
it's a really weighty responsibility.
It is
to be a business owner, a business leader, because the decisions you make don't just impact you.
No.
I mean, it's not the same as, but it's similar to if you decide to drive 100 miles an hour down the freeway and start passing people stupidly.
Yeah.
You're not just impacting you, you're impacting the 100 other people that's going to suffer in a pile-up crash because you're choosing to be a fool.
Yeah.
And not follow laws and, lead well.
Take the appropriate and that measures to protect the things that are important. And so it's the same thing. If you're doing this, you are being extremely selfish. And that's why the title is stewardship over scale. And it's that if you focus on stewardship, because that's what you're called to, scale and everything else, it doesn't really matter if that comes. You can watch 1,000 videos on the internet right now to tell you about how to 10x your business. It's just not that interesting. I mean, I'm tired of hearing it.
Oh, it's well annoying.
So everybody, and I don't even know why that's interesting, right? I mean, I do.
It's money,
right?
Yeah.
Intellectually, it's easy. 10x means more power, more money, more whatever. You can fill in the blank.
Money, power, respect.
All of it. Yeah, in that order. But I've seen it enough, And I've done it enough early in my career that the whole point of the King's business is to encourage people to lead their business from a biblical lens. So a biblical lens is none of this is yours. It's the King's business. And if the King were to return today, what would the stewardship of that thing that you have look like? Oh, well, I scaled this thing and I wanted to do all this stuff and I involved myself and I made myself the point of failure, essentially, so that if anything went wrong, it all collapsed, which meant practically I impacted the lives of all of these people.
Yeah, 20, 30, 40, 100, 200 people.
10,000, you see this stuff. And so that's why it's like, stop. And then, of course, the whole concept of why the operating system exists is to focus on stewardship.
Which, lends itself well to the name here, right? You're talking about all of this breaking because of one person. The operating system is literally called unbreakable.
That's right.
So can you tell us why it's called unbreakable? Kind of some of the, you don't have to necessarily dive crazy deep into the operating system. I'm sure we'll have time to do that in other ones, and you can too. But just more around why is it called unbreakable?
Yeah.
What's the basis of the laws? What's the vision for what this would do for businesses?
Yeah, I mean, obviously people can go read about the system.
Sure.
But like if I'm talking to somebody, like if I'm in a room just talking to somebody about it, which is what we're doing now, it's named unbreakable because the systems that I've used in the past still create a reliance on people, which I believe is poor stewardship. And so it's kind of both practical and spiritual, meaning our breaking has nothing to do with outcomes spiritually. So you can't be broken when you are tethered and connected to Jesus. It doesn't really matter what happens in the business. Now, get down to the practical. There are things that you can do in the business that can help you to weather storms, to deal with ups and downs, to bend, and to be that palm tree, right? So that you can bend but not break. And so essentially what I go through here is that, in unbreakableOS, when you set your 3 goals, those goals become the leaders of the business. So if I'm gone tomorrow, if I die tomorrow, and let's say I have my 3 goals set for this business, every cycle that happens puts it through the filter of those goals and has to meaningfully move it toward that. That execution can continue without me. Because essentially, the goal is the leader, which makes it so you're not reliant on a consultant or on a certain personality, really getting everybody rah, rah, rah excited. It's you set your destination, and then it's turn by turn. Every turn you're taking on the map is just telling you how to get to the place that you're going.
And it gives you a bunch of freedom, even in that, like you mentioned, consultants or people that get people excited. You might have a cycle where you do use someone, right? Sure. You might have 12 cycles where you don't. And it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, the cycle is what matters, the goal is what matters, the push forward to those things is what matters. And
you can do this if you're one person.
Yeah, exactly.
Or 100 people.
Right.
That's the best part. I don't need... If I'm a solopreneur, I don't need a CMO and a CFO and a COO because all solopreneurs wear every one of those hats.
Yep.
So then how do you give them a system to make sure that they're thinking about all of those things? Because most solopreneurs are thinking only about the sales and marketing.
Yep.
That's usually what they're good at. It's usually how
because you got to bring money in the door.
That's it. And the finance is the finance. My bookkeeper handles it. My CPA handles
exactly right. As long as bills are getting paid,
that's right.
Books are good.
Yeah, the balances look good. Sure. Okay, cool. I can make payroll this week.
Great.
So I think stewardship is looking at that business as how can I make myself more dispensable, not indispensable. And that is the whole heart behind the system, which leads to asymmetric endurance, where your involvement goes the other way.
I think obviously that's the hardest part for people, right, is to realize that making yourself indispensable isn't taking away your value.
No.
It isn't taking away the fact that, first of all, that you own it. And so from a monetary perspective, it's still good for you.
Yeah.
It's not taking away your ideas and your dreams. And it's also not taking away you from the business.
Yeah.
You might step in and work a day a week, setting up goals, setting up cycles, and then go do something else.
Well, and sometimes, inevitably, there will be points of shrink for your business. And asymmetric endurance is not a one-way street. It works in opposite direction. So if the business is shrinking, your involvement goes up. Now you've got to get back in there. You've got to kind of go in and figure out what areas do need some of this attention. Where do I need to adjust some of maybe these big 3 goals that need to get reset so that I think, Jen actually said it. She goes, the coolest thing that happens and that people don't realize, but that she's seen, is that when you lead that way, people want to follow you. Meaning, when I make myself actually dispensable, people see that it's not about me. And therefore, they actually trust in the leadership, which means they want to follow you. So it's this, it's the upside down. Yeah. And I think, it's the hardest thing to realize, but it's the most powerful form of stewardship, Yeah,
I mean, you're right in here. The whole idea is that it doesn't lead on any one person, but it leans on structure, discipline, and system. So, obviously I've become more and more familiar with the whole idea of it, but just in this last, reading through this in this last week, talking about actually the leaders of the domains of the goals, that's a really great way to frame it, because it helps you realize that, there isn't really like this risk on people. There's no risk on people.
Yeah.
Someone else can come in tomorrow and pick up that goal and run it.
Yeah, and really what it does is it removes the dependency upon a leader, and it actually puts everyone as a contributor to the broader goal. Meaning, if I'm not, let's say I'm leading growth, but let's say tomorrow I'm not. That doesn't mean that I can't add value to the business, because I can work on things toward the broad goal. That is the value, which then prioritizes execution over power or position.
Right.
And that is the thing that flips, I think that the thing that flips it on its head or makes it different from really any other system that's out there.
Yeah. And for anyone that wants to get access to the system, they can sign up for early access at unbreakable-os.com.
Yeah, and it's going to be really cool. And the first version of the system is going to be heavily focused just on execution.
Yeah, setting those 3 goals and then executing month after month.
Tracking, executing, and in a simple and clean and, unpretentious way.
Yeah. Billions of prompts. Are we missing the point?
Trillions and zillions.
Man, it's a lot.
It's a lot of prompts.
Yeah, talk to us a little bit about this week's focus of prompts.
Yeah.
So this is obviously the section from the world, kind of giving us some insight into what's happening in the world, early indications of what we should be aware of, what it means for business leaders that love Jesus and are about the King's business. So this week, obviously, billions of prompts, so we're missing the point, kind of focusing on the rise of large language models and people using them a lot more than anyone really is realizing. Yeah.
Well, first I'll say the Neuron, it's linked in here, but the Neuron is fantastic. I've been following them for a while. It's a really cool format of their weekly newsletter, and it's one of the many that I follow, but for sure one that stands out. And this is essentially a big call out to something they came out with on these 3 milestones. So if you get a chance, go to the Neuron.
And it's linked. So if you go to the King's business, you go to this week's, click on that.
And it's not like I work with them in any way.
No,
it's just
no.
Value add.
No, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so last week, obviously we talked about the impact that they're having on search.
Yep.
But it was fascinating to look at the numbers. So 2.5 billion prompts a day just on GPT and 330 million in the United States alone, which is an American per day. That doesn't include any of the other stuff. That is like mind-blowing.
Yes,
The level of adoption,
yeah.
right? And how fast it's happened.
By the way, people didn't really talk about. Everyone was talking about when everyone started to use search engines.
Yes.
It was like front page news all the time.
Yeah.
This has just happened almost silently.
Silently, and yet everyone's using
transition.
it.
Everyone's using it.
Yeah.
Everyone's downloaded the app.
Yeah.
Everyone's switching over and using ChatGPT. It's become part of our everyday language. Well, did you use ChatGPT? Did you ChatGPT it?
And we know, like people know when there's format from.
Everyone's like, oh, that's clearly from ChatGPT, right?
Yes.
It's become obviously the brand too, right?
Yes.
So it's become the Band-Aid, it's become the Google, it's become the Starbucks, right? Mm-hmm. Even though people are actually using Gemini or Grok or anything else, they're saying ChatGPT.
It's genuinely wild. I think CEO of NVIDIA said AI will make more millionaires in the next 5 years than the internet did in 20.
Mm.
And so you have so many people doing things all day long to the tune of 2.5 billion prompts just on one platform, building and dreaming and thinking and reasoning and ideating, and it's a brilliant design because essentially it's the design of a text message.
Yes,
nothing's ever been designed that way.
It's really lovely to use.
Yeah, it's just easy.
It's just nice to have an assistant.
It is.
At all times that knows a lot of answers.
It's really nice.
I can't figure this problem out. Oh, I'll just type this in. I'll figure it out.
So just kind of the color, obviously I wanted to focus on that, and then understanding that profitability is a totally different thing because these guys spend tons of money. But I mean, OpenAI is generating around $27 million from the Neuron article, $27 million a day, which is that's a $10 billion company.
Daily revenue.
That's before real adoption. That's before real monetization, because even at the price point that we're at now, it's creating heavy reliance. And so even if they doubled their price next week, you'd pay.
Oh yeah,
and they know that.
Just like you're not going to stop watching Netflix,
right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of wild. And then of course on the third, it was around kind of the intelligence side of things. It's really just a call to understand how complex these are and how a lot of the models that we are using in those 2.5 billion prompts, people are using like the basic versions of things.
Oh yeah.
So they're not even seeing the power that actually is where these large language models can solve really nuanced and complex problems.
Yeah.
And that's not going to slow down. It's going to continue. And so I think the idea is that, so now what? So you have that information, but what are you going to do with it?
Yeah, right. Like, are you going to sit back and get scared by that? Or are you going to go, oh, I don't like that, it's taking over? Or are you going to go, cool, I'm going to go build a business? Like, what's that's just the beginning bit, right? Just the knowing bit.
And Proverbs, right, 4:7, the beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom, and whatever you get insight. So you might have information, lots of information, but the nuance is how you're going to actually leverage that for the kingdom.
Yeah, and if this is the king's business, if you've got a kingdom mindset, right, if that's the framework, great. So then you've got all this information, tons of money in it, tons of usage in it, tons of access in it. So then what are you going to do?
Yeah, how are you going to use it? And it can't, I'm not saying it can't, but you should both continuously improve and learn how to use it in different ways. So if you find yourself getting stuck using something the same way for multiple weeks in a row, challenge yourself.
Yeah.
You can ask you can ask ChatGPT, what's a way that I can use you that I haven't been? Right? If you need help coming up with what to do, but keep yourself sharp, because one, you want to understand it, but then once you understand it, it needs to go through the lens of biblical wisdom so that you can then apply it in a way that is discerning. So that it's not just to chase after scaling.
Right, exactly.
Right? Like, so for me, I want to use this to figure out ways to make the system more scalable so people can use their time for things that, right? And to make them, like I was talking with you today about creating a filter essentially in the system where you don't need somebody to filter out the pitch that someone makes to make sure it's going toward those big three, because that makes it reliant upon one person.
Yeah.
Instead, we can build out an LLM to actually do that initial analysis.
Yeah.
That's better stewardship. And it's using the knowledge, but with wisdom as the bedrock of stewardship. So I think, I wrote, obviously power is neutral, but wisdom is what makes it useful. You need wisdom, and it's a through path to everything else in this week's volume around seeing more than just what's in front of you.
Yeah, the way you finished it, actually, more than anything, was personally what spoke to me the most. Let's not forget that who we become matters more than what we create. Because I mean, personally, that's a difficult one for me to remember, because as someone performance-driven, the what is definitely what's on the pedestal for me.
Yeah.
So, I did this thing. I created this thing, or I built this thing, or I designed this thing, or whatever it is the thing is, but often the expense is at who that made me, or what that does to me from a pride standpoint, or just really anything. And for sure the who gets chucked to the wayside, while the what is what's celebrated. But it doesn't really matter, does it? Because on my deathbed, I'm not going to really care about any of those things. In fact, I probably won't remember any of those things. But the who I've been and who people remember me to be, or what my kids remember to be me to be, and even forget deathbed, just right now, do people want to be around me? Do my kids want to be with me? Do my friends want to be with me? Is my wife happy with the person I am? Am I happy with the person I am? So this last line, let's not forget who we become matters more than what we create. That's just a really good reminder. So these are just tools. There's going to be tools forever. There's been tools in the past.
Yeah.
There'll be tools in the future.
Yeah.
It's just a tool.
Yeah.
But is it turning me into a tool?
That's right.
Joking aside, am I just somebody am I just a terrible person?
Am I being tossed around?
Yeah.
With every, thing that comes around, I'm just tossed to the next thing. And it's like, well, I'm just essentially forming to the world.
Yeah.
Whatever the world's doing, I'm forming to that. Versus understanding who you are and then letting those things be.
Yeah. So it was a really good. So thank you for that, and also for the two people that may listen to this.
Hey, Mom
and Jeff,
and Stephen Bartlett.
Yeah.
Although
I don't think he's going to keep watching. Do you?
What I'm saying
is subscribe.
You also have to.
Unlikely.
One, he didn't subscribe. Two, you also have to look at the YouTube retention, right? I mean, it's a 45-minute video.
Right now we're at 30 minutes and 26 seconds. He watched
4 minutes.
Yeah,
seconds.
Yeah.
Maybe just clicked it.
Just scrub to the end. We'll put chapters and we'll scrub to the end so you can get to it.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I was just sitting here and I was thinking, oh man, it's always like, how can we optimize? Oh, maybe we should take quick clips of things that are good from this and put it at the beginning as a teaser. But then I'm like, why do we need to do that?
We don't. And also, didn't we say that we were going to try not to edit it much?
That's the point.
Yeah.
I love I love it. The cinematic, quiet opening. It's, the J hook of audio.
Yeah.
King's business, fade in, and now we're just here.
If you want to watch it, watch it.
Yeah, and if you
want to put it on in your car while you're driving, because I can promise you there's a lot of people that could benefit from this that have got
but you're not
a 40-minute drive.
So
Don't matter, you can put it on YouTube. Just listen to it.
Feels like the three people who might listen to this want on a podcast.
I know, it's true. We could just pull it and just
audio.
It's the audio track. Now that we've actually got decent audio, last week was that was rough. I told you.
You told me.
All right. So what do you always say?
Let's be about the King's business.
Let's be about the King's business. Who's the King, Adam?
King Jesus. The only King.
The one, the only.
It's time.
It's time. It's time for people to listen.
Hey, if we could get Bruce Buffer to do it.
Get him in here? Does he love Jesus? I don't know that he does. He might.
He might.
You'd be surprised how many people actually love Jesus that you don't know about.
Facts.
There's a lot of people that you know, for one reason or another, they're just not ready to say,
Or they're
come
just,
out and say it.
or they're just
Quiet
they
Christians.
want to live quiet. Yeah, which is fantastic.
Yeah, also true. You do you.
God, yes, it's
But
hands,
it would
it's
be
feet.
better if you didn't deny him in public, because he might deny
The
you in
denying
private.
part's bad.
Well, I guess what's denying? Being silent about it? We're not going to get
You're
into
the
that.
pastor.
No, I'm not. All right, till next time.
Hasta luego.
Yeah, King's business.
Yeah,
Bye then.
sweet.
Can you turn that one off and I'll turn this one off?
I could.
But will you?
I will.
Okay.